In today's headlines, we have Kyogo's return to Celtic just got a massive jolt as his Rennes nightmare goes from bad to brutal. Rangers fans, brace yourselves, because the chase for Lennon Miller just took a twist no one saw coming. Over at Parkhead, Luis Palma's Greek saga ends in rejection, and now Celtic have a decision to make on a player who promised so much and delivered so little. And at Tynecastle, Hearts might have just dropped the biggest hint yet about their next manager, while a former player makes a move that could reignite his career. Love the FITBA? You're in the right place, mate. Hit that subscribe button, join the crew, and listen, once we hit 1,000 subs, somebody's bagging a brand new SPFL shirt. Could be you, Ken? Get involved. Things have gone from bad to bizarre in France, and the name on everyone's lips is Kyogo Furuhashi. The former darling of the Celtic faithful swapped the roar of Parkhead for the rather less enthusiastic claps of Stade Rennes back in January, with a £10 million move that was supposed to elevate his career. Instead, he has vanished like your mate's round-buying instincts after the third pint. Since landing in League One, Kyogo has managed exactly 0 goals and just 1 start. That's right, 1 start. Even the Rennes gaffer, Habib Bai, seems to have lost a manual on how to use him. Not injured, not suspended, not even picked. For the last 3 matches, he has not made the bench, not made the stands, not made the program, just not made it. To make things spicier, Bai has been very clear. No injury excuses, no sympathy cards, just pure Darwinism at the training ground. The Rennes boss basically said, prove yourself or pack it in. Cheers for the morale boost, boss. Meanwhile, back in Glasgow, the story's taken a proper twist. The winger who came the other way, Hoda, is now crocked, out for 9 months. Cue the whispers, the speculation, the WhatsApp forward. Could Kyogo make a grand return to Celtic Park? Paul Slane, speaking on Open Goal, went full romantic hero and said he would do everything to bring Kyogo back. Even Andy Halliday, a man not known for waxing lyrical about the green half of Glasgow, reckons there is a genuine chance it could happen. Apparently, Brendan Rodgers might just fancy it. And to be fair, with 2 games left in the French league and Kyogo barely seeing daylight, a return might be less romantic reunion and more rescue mission. If Kyogo does come back, should Celtic fans welcome him with open arms after he jumped ship in January? Or has that green jersey moved on without him? It is all heating up around young Lennon Miller, the midfield metronome of Motherwell, who is now being circled by scouts like seagulls at a chip shop. 18 years old, over 2,000 minutes played this season, 6 assists, 2 goals, and a whole lot of eyes watching. He has just bagged the PFA Scotland Young Player of the Year and looks every bit the next big export from the Scottish game. And now, clubs from Germany are sniffing around. Bundesliga suits have already rung up Motherwell boss Michael Wimmer asking, politely of course, if they might be allowed to borrow his star boy for the next decade. Wimmer was honest. He rates him. He reckons he could go and slot straight into the Bundesliga if the club is the right fit. Not a maybe, not a someday. Right now? So where does that leave the Rangers? Well, reportedly interest, but not exactly in the best position to throw £4 million around with a casual shrug. With a reported operating loss of £17.2 million, the Ibrox side might need to sell before they can even think about joining the race properly. And in that time, Celtic have reportedly stepped up with stronger financial backing, not to mention the European clubs offering sunnier weather and fatter contracts. Kevin Thelwell and Nils Koppen will have to decide whether it is worth chucking a sizable chunk of the summer budget on one lad, or if a cheaper, clever option lies somewhere closer to home. Because this is not just about talent. This is a financial arm wrestle. And right now, Rangers might be trying to lift the trophy with a pulled hamstring. If Lennon Miller does go to Celtic, is that a case of Rangers dropping the ball financially? Or is the real scandal that another top Scottish talent might be forced to lead the country to reach his full potential? Luis Palma's Greek holiday is coming to a rather quiet end. The Honduran winger, who arrived at Celtic with a fair bit of excitement in the summer of 2023, now finds himself on a flight back to Glasgow with a suitcase full of question marks and just 1 goal from his 5 months at Olympiacos. Let us rewind a bit. He started brightly under Brendan Rodgers, looked sharp, scored a few, danced a bit on the wing. Then December hit the form dipped, and so did his place in the pecking order. From regular starter to occasional bench warmer, it all unraveled rather quickly. So off he went to Greece in search of rhythm and redemption. But even after helping Olympiacos lift their first title since 2022, the club looked at the €4 million price tag and said, "Thanks, but no thanks." According to Greek reports, they will not be activating the purchase clause. Apparently, the fee is a stretch for their summer plans, especially with Champions League qualifiers coming up and bigger fish to fry. In his 11 appearances for Olympiacos, Palma managed just 5 starts, 1 goal, 1 assist, and an average match rating that barely raised eyebrows. Not exactly a lone spell to write home about. Now, back at Celtic, with 3 years still on his contract, Palma finds himself in limbo. Brendan Rodgers will have to decide whether to give him a second chance or look for another club willing to take the risk. Has Luis Palma been mismanaged at Celtic, or has he simply not lived up to the hype since day one? The Tynecastle rumor mill is churning harder than ever as Hearts head into the final stretch of the season with a top 6 spot secured and a managerial vacancy still very much in the headlines. Interim boss Liam Fox has kept the ship steady with a solid win over Ross County, and just one more victory would mathematically shut the door on any faint threat of being dragged into the relegation playoff mess. So job done, nearly. While the team preps to face Motherwell, the boardroom's busy pondering the bigger picture, and Derek McInnes is now looking increasingly like a frontrunner for the permanent role. The Kilmarnock boss has been name-checked more times this week than a dodgy VAR decision, and now pundits are spotting what they think are clues. Peter Grant, never one to hold back, reckons that McInnes skipping his own club's press duty while assistant Paul Sheeran took the mic might just be the smoking gun. The logic? If there was nothing going on behind the scenes, McInnes could easily have faced the press, swatted away the Hearts' questions, and talked up Killy's run-in. But staying quiet has only added fuel to the fire, and Grant was quick to remind everyone that McInnes' CV in Scotland is nothing to sneeze at. Success at Aberdeen, top 6 solidity with Killy, and enough wins to make any hiring committee at least pause for thought. Meanwhile, on the player front, a wee footnote, but a nice one. Former Hearts forward Craig Whiten has made his move to Montrose permanent after a brief loan stint. The now ex-Dunfermline striker signs on for 2 years, with boss Stuart Petrie sounding positively giddy about having him on board. It is not a blockbuster, but it is a tidy reminder of how many careers Hearts has touched over the years. If Derek McInnes does end up taking the Hearts job, is it a sign the club's ambition is stuck in safe mode? Or would it actually be the shrewdest appointment they could make right now? And don't forget, we're closing in on 1,000 subscribers. Once we hit that mark, we're giving away a shirt of your favorite SPFL team to one lucky subscriber. So hit that subscribe button. Drop your team in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. I post videos every day talking about our Scottish football. See you soon.